Hi, I'm Gidon from technologyman.com. Limited storage on iPads and iPhones has always made purchasing a device with enough capacity a difficult decision. Apple charges a lot of money to jump up to their larger capacities, as much as £1 or $1 per gigabyte, for example, to increase the basic iPad's rather paltry 32 gigabytes to 128 gigabytes. And you don't always know exactly how much capacity you'll need. Apple still don't let you add SD card storage or even access external storage drives without buying specific devices, which generally have to be used with third-party apps. Perhaps iOS 13 will change this, but that's where we're at now. If you're happy to pay for some iCloud storage, you can enable optimized storage to compress all your photos and videos significantly, or you can use Google Photos, as I've discussed in a recent blog post, to back up all your photos and videos free of charge if you prefer, and then you can delete them off your device. But that's mainly limited to photos and videos taken with your iPhone or iPad. Sometimes you just want to easily access some files off your computer or external hard drive, perhaps some large video files or raw photos. Or you want to easily upload some large files to your computer. I've got an upcoming video on various ways to expand your storage, particularly when you're out and about, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss it. But today I'm looking at a totally free way to have access to as much storage as you want, and you don't even need a cable. I'm using an iPad, but this will work in the exact same way with an iPhone. You will need a computer and a free app called Documents. For some applications, you don't even need the Documents app. You will also need both your iPad and a computer connected to a private Wi-Fi network, so this is a great option whether you're at home or work. I've used it for editing videos on my iPad in front of the TV. The method does involve using file sharing, but don't be put off, I'll guide you through the process. And if you're still not keen on setting up file sharing, I'll show you towards the end of the video another method that's not quite as convenient but easier to set up. The general idea is you share a folder on your computer, either a PC or a Mac. You could also use a NAS if you have one, in the exact same way. You then have full access to the shared folder from your iPad to copy back and forth using the Documents app, just like having an external hard drive plugged into your iPad. A lot of files can be played natively in the Documents app, including videos, photos, Word files, music and PDFs. Or you can use the Open-In feature of iOS to import them into your preferred supported app. It's quite fast if you have a good Wi-Fi network, and the great thing is you can share any folder. So if you already have a huge folder full of videos, say, you could either play them directly from the network computer, or you could copy across only the files you want for offline playback. First, let's set up the shared folder on a Mac. Tap the Spotlight search and type Sharing. Open the Sharing System preference and tick the File Sharing Service. Tap on Options and make sure Share Files and Folders using SMB is selected. Then tick the Windows file sharing user you want to have access. Take a note of the username, including spaces and capitalization. You'll be prompted for your Mac login password. Click Done. You can add a shared folder under the Shared Folder pane. Here I'm sharing a videos folder on my desktop. I can just drag the folder across. Check whether you want read and write or just read access. And take a note of your computer's name in case it's not obvious when you scan for shares later. It's also worth taking a note of the network name just below so that you can add a share manually later if need be. Setting up shares on Windows does depend on your version of Windows, but it's similar on Windows 7, 8 and 10. I'm using Windows 10 here. Tap the Start button and type Control Panel. Select Network and Sharing Center. Make sure you're on a private network. Select Change Advanced Sharing Settings from the sidebar. Under Private Network Profile, ensure Turn on Network Discovery and Turn on File and Printer Sharing are selected. Expand all networks and scroll to the bottom. Ensure Turn on Password Protected Sharing is selected. I find this is the most reliable method, but you will need a password on your logged in user account. Click back a couple of times to get to Control Panel again. Select User Accounts and take a note of your username, which I've highlighted here. It's easier if this is an administrator account and there needs to be a password set. Often the hardest bit is remembering what your login password is, especially if you set a PIN to gain quick access, but you will need this password. To share a folder, in Windows Explorer, right-click on any folder and select Properties. Here I'm showing that this could also be an external hard drive connected to the computer via USB. Under the Sharing tab, click on Advanced Sharing. Tick the Share this folder checkbox and either accept the default share name or type in it what you want. This will give you read access. If you want to be able to write to this folder too, click on Permissions and tick the Full Control checkbox. Click OK twice and close the dialog box. Now we have our share set up, we can access them from the iPad. Unfortunately, the Apple Files app doesn't currently work with network shares, but we can use a completely free Documents app. Open the app and tap Nearby from the sidebar, which will search for nearby network shares. Tap on the Mac, in my case Gidon's MacBook Pro, and enter the username and password of the user account as we noted down earlier. The username is exactly as displayed on the Mac and includes spaces and, importantly, any capitalization. Let Documents save your login details for a quick connection next time. Tap on Done and the iPad will connect to your shares. The procedure for a PC is the exact same as with the Mac. You can save a share to the sidebar for easier access by tapping plus next to In the Cloud and choosing Windows SMB, whether it's a Mac or a PC, and manually entering the server name, so in this case Desktop GMR. Enter your Windows username and password and tap Done. You can now browse your shared folders just like you're on the computer itself. It's really quick to move around folders and browse directories. You can view supported files right inside the app. For example, photos, Word documents, music and PDFs, and videos will try and stream depending on your network speed and the bitrate of the video. You can also download files by tapping on the three dots underneath the file and choosing Download. You can view and delete downloaded files in Documents, Downloads. If you delete a file, remember to also delete it from Recently Deleted in the Documents folder to avoid filling up your iPad. A 1GB file took around 2 minutes to download from a MacBook connected wirelessly and less than 90 seconds with a Windows PC connected via a gigabit Ethernet cable. As a reference, importing the same file via an SD card reader over Lightning took just over a minute. You can upload files back to a network share too. Tap on the three dots and choose Upload, or you can drag and drop to a saved share. If you want to open the file in another app, you can tap on the three dots and select Share. For example, I could open and edit a RAW file in Affinity Photo. Or I can export a video file for editing in the video editing app LumaFusion. In this case, it's easier to have a project already open in LumaFusion. The file is then copied across to the imported folder ready for editing. I find it's often easier to drag and drop files between Documents and the Open app using the iPad's multitasking features, if the app supports that. Some apps like LumaFusion let you directly access shared folders, so you don't even need to use a Documents app. For example, in LumaFusion, just tap on Sources, Wireless Network Drives and choose Add Server. The network computers should show up, or you can add them manually as we did in Documents. You can then browse to the shared folder and import the video straight into LumaFusion. If you're not keen on setting up sharing, Documents also supports Wi-Fi transfer, which is a little like AirDrop, but works between your iPad and a PC too. It's very easy to use. Just go to docstransfer.com in your web browser and tap on Wi-Fi transfer in Documents. Scan the QR code and you'll be able to use your iPad a bit like a thumb drive. The transfer speed is quite fast. The same 1GB file took less than a minute from my desktop with a gigabit Ethernet connection to the iPad. I think this is a great solution for many people. There's no additional equipment to purchase and it's all wireless. Storage is effectively unlimited and the transfer speeds are pretty quick as far as wireless transfer speeds go. You can't work directly off the large files unfortunately, so you'll still need enough storage on your device to even temporarily copy them across. But that's the case for almost every other solution out there, until Apple relax the restrictions on their iOS file system. I hope you found this video useful. Please like the video if you did, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. I have a video coming out shortly discussing other methods to expand your iPad and iPhone storage, so please subscribe if you're interested. It will also really help the channel grow, and don't forget to tap the bell icon to get notified as soon as a video gets uploaded. Thanks for watching.